Hey guys, so welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Carissa. This is not my normal background. I am in a hotel room, hence the standing up, and this is the only place I could get semi-decent lighting. So have you ever wondered what it would be like if John Wick was a female and a housekeeper? Well, this movie has you covered. So this is a non-stop adrenaline-filled horror slash action slash comedy from Andy Muschietti, the director of the It movies, and I really enjoyed both of those movies. The second one, not as much as the first, but still Andy is definitely a talented guy. Definitely not arguing against that, but he's just really not giving it his all, and that shows. This just feels extremely lazy. So Zazie Beetz stars as a woman who gets a job at a fancy high-rise apartment building in New York City as a housekeeper, and it sounds a little too good to be true. That's because they're a satanic cult and they're trying to sacrifice her to the devil. Where have we seen that before? So the hotel is a really interesting, historic looking hotel. I really liked that as a set piece. And look, this movie had a lot of potential. It just really failed because it had a lot of talent behind it, behind the camera, in front of the camera, an interesting location, a storyline they could have done something fresh and different with. But instead, they went the route of trying to copy paste Ready or Not. And look, Ready or Not did the whole horror comedy thing so well. It really balanced it. It had those moments of tension and suspense and also humor, but here it fails at being a horror and a comedy. It's basically a straight up action movie with some sugar candy coating of a satanic cult, and the action is non-stop. There is never a rest period to focus on the story, world building, character building. It needs moments of rest, and we just don't have any. And the whole katana stuff doesn't really fit the tone and the vibe. There's just no build-up, no suspense, no sense of atmosphere. But like I said, there is talent. There's Tom Felton, he plays villains well. He iconically played Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter movies. He's okay. I know he's a good actor. I know Zazie Beetz is a good actress. I really liked her in Joker. I still haven't seen the second Joker movie. I refuse. Anyway, I said from the get-go that was going to be a bad movie, and that was my most downvoted video. Everybody said I was wrong. Well, look who's laughing now. Well, I'm not really laughing because I really wanted to enjoy that movie. Anyway, moving on. So there's Patricia Arquette from Everybody Loves Raymond, a funny sitcom from I think the 90s, early 2000s. Heather Graham. So yeah, a lot of talent, but just not utilized. And yeah, Zazie Beetz is so overpowered, not looking for realism here, like I said. I mean, we have her cutting a guy in half with a katana in one swipe. So you know what you're getting with this movie, but still, I mean, she just takes down like 5 guys at once, and you just really have to suspend your belief heavily for this movie, and I'm okay with that. But I feel like, with Ready or Not, and I know I keep going back to that, but it shows it done in a more realistic way. And obviously they weren't going for realism here. They were going for over the top and campy. And I would have been okay with having her super overpowered if it was part of a story that was also interesting enough where I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But here it's just so bad, the story, everything, that it just makes it stand out even more. So the third act is so over the top ridiculous, and not in a fun way. At an hour and a half, it still felt like it overstayed its welcome. An hour and a half movie should not feel slow, and it feels like they were going for gore and shock value, overtelling a story and really adding those layers of character depth and, just heart and soul and people we can really invest in. So I have no problem with social commentary if done well, whether that comes to race or class. But this was not done well. Get Out, Ready or Not, both handled their respective topics so well because they were the focus and they were done in a really compelling way. But here it just feels like they're trying to focus on both narratives, race and class, in such a ham-fisted way that they just lose their audience. And just the fact that they were so incredibly unapologetically on the nose with the fact that they were straight up copying Ready or not taking inspiration, but copying. At the end of the movie, you have Zazie Beetz saying rich people in that fed up tone, just like Samara Weaving's character does. And Ready or Not 2 came out a week ago with the same storyline. Older sister abandons younger sister feels abandoned and neglected. It's the same thing. So they must have gotten their hands on the script for Ready or Not 2 and said, hey, let's do it, but do it worse. Ready or Not was just so atmospheric. It just blended the horror comedy. It had heart. It had everything. And I'm going to stop talking about that movie now, I promise. So when it comes to the racial aspects of it, so we had the elite who were all white and then a few black housekeepers. And this is New York City. So the fact that there was no diversity there, it felt very ham-fisted of a message they were trying to tell. And then there was an evil white housekeeper. And it just felt obvious they were trying to go with the, all the people in this movie who were black were sympathetic in some way. Even two of the Satanists, yes, they tried to make out Satanists to be sympathetic. We have the sister who joined up because she was going through a rough time, and I felt for her. But you don't join a satanic cult as the answer. And she was fully on board to sacrifice an innocent until that innocent became her sister. And then we have another guy who's been in the cult for like 100 years. Then he decides he wants out. So in Ready or Not 2, Samara Weaving's character was smart enough to think, hey, satanic power, bad. Probably shouldn't try to use that for good. Yeah, Zazie Beetz' character does not make the same decision. And I honestly would have still said this was a good movie, even if I disagreed with the social commentary in that movie. If it was a good movie, I can separate those two things. But here, it just was a bad movie with a bad message. It was racially divisive. At a time, we don't need more division. Let's face it, there's horrible people with every skin color. Yeah, so this movie just failed across the board for me. But mainly, it did the worst thing a movie can do. It bored me. I was bored. I mean, I was wanting to look at my phone, but I was in a special screening. So you have to put your phone in this little plastic baggie so that you can't look at it. But still, I was that bored during some parts of this movie. I would honestly give it a 3 out of 10. And disclaimer, I'm just going to be completely honest. This movie got a lot of laughs. And I mean a lot of laughs from the audience I was with, so you might enjoy it. This might just be personal taste, so if that trailer really has you hooked, then go check it out. I would say on streaming, just in case. Anyway, if you've seen it, let me know what you think down below. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all of that YouTube stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.